These are some Dinar Guru updates, starting off with Bruce. I understand that Iraq will be essentially closed off to us, to the world, between Thursday and Saturday of this week. Iraq will go dark, so to speak, and now they'll reopen again on Sunday, which is their first business day, and they will, in my opinion, continue trading the dinar starting Sunday night internationally, especially with the Far East. So that is going to be interesting, and this is where we are. Right, Samson, Iraq video appeared yesterday live on the weekly economic program called Dinar on the official TV station in Iraq. A campaign to show the importance of small denominations and the deletion of the zeros. Nader from the Mideast, Iraq video translation. The video is talking about the dollar and the dinar. It's very good news, not bad news. It's talking about the exchange of the dinar. They said today by midnight the dinar will start to change. I don't know what they mean exactly by quote start to change, but I think they're going to put it to float. They said Kazemi made a decision with the CBI. It's not an opinion, it's what I hear. I'm giving you the news. Don't blame me if it doesn't happen. If it does happen, then good. Frank 26, Iraq Boots on the Ground new videos report. Frank says 3 videos came out. One of these videos was on a television program in Iraq that is well known to citizens of Iraq. It is called Dinar. Iraq citizens will always watch it. It talks about their economy, their reforms, their GDP, all that economic stuff. Not the political stuff. It's in Arabic. Firefly says it was live on channel 1, on our channel 1. It is a campaign to show the importance of the small denominations and the deletion of the zeros. It is an education for the citizens. They were not talking about the dinar per se. They were not talking about when the dinar was going to be released with a new exchange rate. They were talking about how the new small category notes are needed. Question, why would they do something like this? Frank says there are financial service experts, representatives, and they're using the Iraqi dinar as one of their financial service products. Mark Z via PDK article, quote, Al-Sadr demands the dissolution of parliament and holding of early elections. The old faces do not exist anymore democratically. Mark Z says very positive news as they move forward to form a majority government. Different blocs are also pushing to dissolve parliament. Al-Almiri is pushing for a meeting about this within 2 days. They're making huge strides in Iraq. They have not worked together in years, decades even. Now they are sitting down together to finish it. Then Al-Kazemi, as soon as they are finished, expects the new rates. It appears we are in the last days of this. I still think it could go any moment. Tivan article, quote, Al-Kazemi's advisors stabilizing contracts and appointing health professionals and higher certificates are not linked to the budget, unquote. Tivan says he is basically saying Al-Kazemi may be the only possible avenue to address the dollar exchange rate through the EFSL. This is very enlightening to hear as Al-Kazemi wants to reduce the dollar exchange rate without relying on the givers to do so, which is why the demonstrators are taking to the streets because they realize the government are the ones in the way, in my opinion. All right, Pimpy says Al-Kazemi is that one guy that gets along with all the groups. If there's anybody out there that could prevent the civil war from happening, I think it's Al-Kazemi. The other one person that might be able to bring calmer heads to the table would be Amari. He has been meeting with Sadr. Mountain Goat says, I have to say it's looking more and more that this stalemate is going to push for the dissolution of parliament and the changing of the constitution towards a majority government. This is a standoff between the corrupt and the survival of Iraq. Yes, a good old-fashioned showdown. Mountain Goat says, having said that, I do not think that the coordination framework is going to vote on such a measure as the dissolving of parliament, since they have the majority in the House now and seems it would never pass. However, the show is not over until the fat lady sings. Breitling, the riots and Parliament, you couldn't imagine on how we benefit from this. It's a very good thing because people are anxious and sick and tired of it. They see the price of oil per barrel and they know the elites in their country and how much they're making, and it's not translating down to them. Sampson article, quote, Al-Sadr directs the protesters to stay in the green, calls for the dissolution of parliament and the holding of early elections. Right, Caparoni says Iraq still has a significant amount of work to be done, including formation of the new government, passing over 100 stalled, economic laws, and implementing all of the stalled reconstruction economic activities throughout Iraq to diversify its economy. Only then can the central bank take significant measures to begin to raise the value via a float. Mark Z via PDK, rumors are all over the place as to what's happening in Iraq. They're still moving forward with seating the government, but the rumors are they're going to let it start floating. Expect more rumors. I am hearing exceptionally confident things from the Mideast and Reno area that we are in the last days. Days, not weeks, which is sooner than what I was expecting. All right, Frank26, I know there's a real big rumor out there saying, guess what's going to happen tonight? The Iraqi dinar is going to float. Do I think it's going to float tonight? I don't know. Do I sense it? No, not really. If and when it does, it will be because Parliament eventually be dissolved. This rumor is just not ripe enough yet. All right, Tivon article quote, Al-Sadr directs the protesters to stay in the green and calls for the dissolution of Parliament and the holding of early elections. Tivon says, I don't think the citizens will have to wait for elections and the formation of the GOI to see purchasing power because Al-Kazimi, as an interim government, will have the necessary powers to give that to them now. The news coming out supports an immediate change to take place with reforms so it can have some wheels. All right, Mountain Goat. On Wednesday, Al-Sadr gave a speech. Al-Sadr openly declared what his policy is going to be for the next government. He said the only direction is to dissolve parliament and rerun the elections. The coordination framework said they will officially respond to Al-Sadr's demands in the coming hours. Oil is high and money is flowing. Can they keep the Sadr momentum going and get the government formed while the iron is hot? Remember, the caretaker Prime Minister Al-Kazimi will remain in power and position until the current crisis is resolved. Mark Z via PDK question, what if Iraq goes alone? Mark Z said, I'm still told that even if Iraq goes alone, which means no global currency reset, even if there is a float, our rate is covered by a contract/treaty set higher that will initially come out at. I was told about $2 more per dinar. They will only honor the higher denomination notes for a limited time. We learned this in Kuwait and China and other revaluations that have happened throughout history. So if you wait too long, your currency really could become wallpaper. And lastly, Frank26, Iraq Boots on the Ground report. These videos are all out all over the place. Seen them over and over again. They're talking about our currency, what we used to use in the past, coins. The last thing he talked about the new notes and discussed the possibility of the dinar and investment opportunities. The other video you asked about talked about the same thing and about how Iraqi dinar is going to change. He didn't say how much. He touched on Kazimi and CBI deals. The third video was more about investment opportunities here in Iraq. There is another video, and that one too talks about the new notes and coins to offset the rise of the dinar, make operational for daily transactions. This all leads to a rate change.